Hi guys. I'm sure most of you can tell I've not been around lately. Um, Plenty of good reasons why. The main one is I'm not doing so hot mentally. Um, Been opening a lot of really scary boxes from my past up here that apparently I covered in duct tape and stacked in a deep, dark, wet corner somewhere in my mind in hopes that I'd never look at them again. And I've come to the realization I have post-traumatic stress syndrome from my time in the Marine Corps. And I haven't slept in days. I'm not eating, and when I am eating, it's not very good. Um, I'm blocking everyone, including my own children, out. I had them from the weekend, and I pretty much sat on this couch the entire time, stuck in my own head. And I felt terrible because all they wanted to do was spend time with me. And all I was capable of doing was physically being there. You know, my own daughter picked me to play Monopoly with her, and I kept coming up with excuses. Why not? What have I become? When my own children have to suffer. What's wrong? Why? Why can't I cope? Why do I have to be broken? I don't know anymore. I'm going crazy. I'm going insane. Being alone is killing me. I did one whole drive last night on Uber just to get out of the house, but the pickup was in my ex's old neighborhood. And on the way, I cut through on her old street. And that was a mistake. That made it all worse. That just opened up a can of worms I wasn't ready to deal with. When I do sleep, I'm having nightmares. I'm reliving how I was treated while I was in the military. You know, I used to look back as my time in the military as something I was proud of and something that was a good thing in my life. But now I'm starting to realize why I feel shame when somebody thanks me for my service. It was because of how I was treated. What happened to me while I was in. There were times when I was afraid of my life from my own unit. There's certain members of my junior NCOs that were above me that legitimately scared me. You know, and then once I got hurt and I was absolutely worthless to them, that only got worse. You know, I tried to take my life a few times while I was in. And I'm not proud of that. I've got scars up and down my thighs from where I used to take my X-Acto knife and cut myself. And honestly, it was because I felt like I deserved to feel pain. Because I wasn't good enough, and I was undeserving. And that's carried through into the rest of my life. And I've realized that's why I got fired from my last job. Because the second that things got rough there and I started feeling like I was losing it, and that kicked in, and frankly, I became self-destructive. I come up with all kinds of excuses of this or that or this or that, and it all comes down to, when it comes down to it, and things become stressful, and when most people would, pull up their pants or whatever you want to say and dig in and work harder, I lose the ability to think straight. I lose the ability to cope. I go into almost like an emergency mode of, I'm constantly reacting to every new thing that blows up in my face, instead of being proactive and making sure they don't blow up in my face in the first place, because I've shut down to the point where I don't recognize that they're blowing up in the first place. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of, I don't want to get yelled at and I don't want to get in trouble anymore, and I don't want to do bad, but yet I end up doing things that cause me to be yelled at and get in trouble more and do bad. And it's the same with my research project. I know I could have done it. I know I could have come through and made that work, no problems. But it became a self-fulfilling prophecy of being terrified that I wasn't going to be good enough to get it done, that I couldn't even open the computer to do the work. And I let everybody down on that one. I've had a few ideas lately of how to make it work. But I'm so messed up right now, I can't even pick up my laptop to do the programming. And I have a reassessment for the VA because I finally fought back. And I finally stood up and said, no, you did cause my depression. You did cause my anxiety. And so I have a reassessment with a psychologist on Wednesday. And I sit here and I think about it and I stress over it, and I'm reliving every moment of it, and I'm having panic attacks, and I'm shutting down, and I'm not getting my homework done. I'm not realizing that I'm late for school. I'm not getting out of bed. My kids had to come in and wake me up both days this weekend because I stayed up so late panicking that I never went to bed until like 5 in the morning when they're waking up. Whereas I used to wake up before them. I don't know how to fix it. That's one thing I miss the most about my ex. That's despite the fact that her method of trying to wake me up and trying to talk to me basically triggered my repressed whatever the hell is going on from the Marine Corps, and just made things worse. She kept me out of my shell. She made me a better father. She made it so my kids had a dad. And then I lost her. And then I lost them. I tried to explain why I'm so sad right now and why I'm not doing so well. And I tried to just, in ways they could understand, tell them that it's not their fault that I'm not doing so well. And I hope they understood what I tried to tell them, as I don't want them to feel like it's their fault. I'm a fucking train wreck right now. And in my last video, when I was talking about my exes and my friend, I ended up losing my friend over it. I lost somebody that's very near and dear to my heart because I was being stupid and being selfish. And I miss her terribly. I at least got enough communication from her that there were some nights I didn't feel alone. And it breaks my heart that I made her so uncomfortable. I don't know what else to say, guys. That's just a tiny peek into what's going on in my brain. I'm surviving, and that's as much as I can say. This will be the first year in a long time that I haven't celebrated Thanksgiving. I'm planning on just working. I don't have anybody to celebrate it with anyway. Luckily, my kids will be with their mom this year, so they don't have to rely on me figuring it out. And even if it was my year, I still would have begged her to take them. And frankly, I'm terrified of Christmas with them. I don't know where I'm gonna be mentally. It was my ex's daughter's birthday this week. I miss that little girl a lot. My ex may have thought I didn't like her, and that she constantly bugged me and annoyed me and all of the above. And that was my fault for not showing it. But I fell in love with that little girl right off the bat. I just didn't know how to show it. And I felt terrible that I came into her life and became a part of it and then failed and was completely removed from it. It's not fair to that little girl. And she deserves better than me as a step-parent or whatever. So she's probably better off, but it still isn't fair. Honestly, none of this is fair. It's all shit. I pray none of you ever have to suffer the way I do. I hope that each and every one of you can find your happiness and never be alone. Never know what it's like to feel this way. And for those of you that are unfortunate enough to know what this feels like, I'm sorry for you. This is a hell that nobody deserves. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemies. Nobody deserves to live this way and feel this way. I never feel good enough, and I'm starting to think that that's why I'm so self-sacrificing. It's because I think I don't deserve it. Deep down, I know I don't deserve it. I left my exercise group for one major reason. Because I noticed that when I wasn't active on there, that somebody that's very special to me, who I'm sure if you've been following me from the beginning, you know who I'm talking about. She became active when I wasn't. And so I decided to delete myself from that group so she could find happiness and she could stay active and have that thing that I was taking from her. I know that sounds stupid as hell, but it's my reasoning. Well, I'm gonna pull myself together. I'm gonna eat some fucking ice cream for dinner. And then I'm gonna go to work. Because I'm back to the point where I don't know if I can afford to eat the next day. If I don't make enough money this week. I just have to take it one day at a time. I want you all to know that I love and care for every one of you. Even if I've never met you, I still love you and I still care about you. And I still hope that you can find your happiness. Unlike me. Just remember, you deserve better. Find that happiness and hold on to it and don't fuck it up like I did. I'll talk to you all later.